What's up, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to be talking about what I have been working on. So let's get started. Now, before I get too far into this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more crocheting content. Disclaimer, I am sitting in my car again because I'm getting ready to go to work, but I just wanted to give you guys another little update about what I've been working on and how it's going. So as I'm sure you guys know, I've been doing a lot of crocheting with granny squares. I'm not as familiar with granny squares just because I didn't start out crocheting like doing them constantly, so I'm still pretty new to granny squares, and I've just been trying to find patterns that I like and ones that make sense, because I feel like with granny squares, if the pattern isn't well written, that it doesn't work for me. So I did find a pattern that I really like. It's kind of like a little flower, and then it's got the border that goes around. And I've been using regular just acrylic yarn to make these granny squares. I have my bag almost completely finished. I know I said that I would finish it in my last video, but I've just been super busy. But I've been using the regular acrylic yarn, and I decided that I was gonna see how this would transfer to thick Bernat blanket yarn. And this is how it went. Honestly, me personally, I like using the thicker yarn more than the acrylic yarn, just because I feel like there's less room for air. And I'll tell you guys what I mean by that. With acrylic yarn, I feel like if you don't get good quality acrylic yarn, and I tend sometimes to just buy the cheaper yarn because I'm like, if I'm making a bag, I don't need it to be like silky soft, you know, I need it to function. But I feel like with acrylic yarn, it likes to split a lot. Like the yarn just like wants to like unravel, I guess you could say, and that's like really frustrating. And two, I don't like using smaller sizes of yarn just because I have to use a smaller hook, and I feel like it takes more time because one, whatever you're making isn't going to be as big, and if you're trying to make something bigger, it just takes so much time. So I really do like working with the thicker yarn. It is a little bit hard to see, I would say, your stitches, just because it is so fluffy. The stitches kind of blend together, so I really do have to like count, which I don't have to do so much when I'm making smaller granny squares with regular yarn. But overall, I think it looks really good, and it is forming together really nicely. As far as the size comparison, like a typical granny square I would say is like that, I don't know, like it's about that big. The Bernat blanket yarn, it is probably 3 or 4 times the size of that, which is kind of crazy, honestly, to me. Like, they are so much bigger, and I think I've made 5 of them now, you know, and I was gonna make, I think I'm gonna make a blanket out of them, and I started putting them like across the bed, and I kid you not, 4 granny squares is halfway across the bed, which means I would need 8 in total to have like a full size, like, you know, have the width of it be the size of the bed, which is crazy, because if I was using regular granny squares, it wouldn't even be close to that. I would have to have so many. Now, as far as like how the composition of it looks, that's another thing. I think they honestly look like really good whether you're using acrylic yarn or you're using like thick fluffy yarn, but I will say with the acrylic yarn, it is a lot easier to see the image that you're putting into your granny square, whereas I feel like almost with the Bernat yarn, it gets a little bit lost if you're not using, like, if you're using similar colors, it's just hard. If you're using like a very like large contrast between the colors, I feel like it's fine and you'll be able to see everything you're doing. So I feel like that's a little bit of a downside, but as far as like size goes and softness and all of that, I think it's great. So I don't have any examples with me right now of the ones I've already done. I will post a YouTube short tonight just showing you guys like what I have. Maybe I can insert a picture here. I don't really know how to do that, but I'm gonna try to figure that out. If I can get a picture, I will show you guys what they look like. So maybe where my hands are, maybe. But yeah, so I'm working on a granny square blanket right now with the big, thick, fluffy yarn. My bag, I just have the handle left. I just need to finish it. I'm just really bad at finishing projects sometimes, but I'll get it done and I will post it. So that is all I have for this YouTube video. If you guys liked this one, definitely check out my other videos. Per usual, my last video previous to this one has some updates with my crocheting as well. So like I said, I'm gonna keep you guys posted. I'm gonna try to at least post a YouTube video once a week just to keep you guys informed. But yeah, so that is all I have for today, and I will see you guys next time.